We are often instilled with the idea that generosity should take precedence over personal interests. However, do we ever receive a warning about the potential hazards of excessive kindness and compassion? In a world where reciprocation is not always guaranteed, the dangers of indiscriminate giving become evident. Today, let's delve into the unexpected negative repercussions of kindness. I'll uncover 8 consequences of being excessively benevolent and introduce 4 Stoic strategies to shield yourself from being taken advantage of. Without further ado, let's explore these aspects. Number 1. Unrealistic expectations. The Stoics advocate accepting circumstances without tying our happiness to others' actions. Giving without expecting too much in return prevents disappointment and fosters emotional detachment, leading to greater peace of mind. However, it is hard for us to be completely selfless in our generosity. Whether we admit it or not, when we give our all, we hope others will do the same when we need something important. However, you have spoiled people so much that they will assume that you can handle everything, both in their lives and yours, especially yours, because otherwise, why would you be taking on other people's responsibilities? The truth is that your expectations of reciprocity will not be fulfilled, and what will happen to you is that you will suffer from bad mood, fatigue, frustration, and disappointment. But if we look at it objectively, people are not letting you down. They are doing what you should also be doing, taking care of their responsibilities. Number 2, fulfilling endless expectations. By continually giving, you may inadvertently lead people into their comfort zones, making them take you for granted. Your expectations of reciprocity may go unmet, resulting in bad moods, fatigue, frustration, and disappointment. People will only expect you to give them something. According to the Stoics, it's important to remember that true value comes from acting by virtue and reason, not simply catering to others' expectations. Practicing moderation and giving in a balanced way allows you to maintain control over your actions and avoid falling into habits that wear down your emotional well-being. You have heard all your life that humans are creatures of habit, and that's true. Humans are programmed to adapt to a routine, a way of life, and a symphony of things happening around them. This tendency to adapt is precisely where the concept of the comfort zone comes from. This means that if you get used to giving all the time, the beneficiaries of your generosity will expect you to give them something all the time. This means that you will lead people into their respective comfort zones, and they will stop doing many of their obligations because you will be there to do them. The problem you will face in this case is not valuing yourself, because if you don't, it's highly unlikely that someone will look you in the eyes and tell you to think more about yourself. At least, don't expect this kind of empathetic act from those you help, since they would cling to their personal Robin Hood, and that would come at a high cost to their lives. Number 3, trampled priorities. Stoics stress living by reason and virtue. If you prioritize others' needs over your responsibilities, you risk neglecting your well-being and authenticity, causing internal strife. You will lose sight of your goals, dreams, and passions. You will feel like you have no purpose or direction in life. You will wonder why you are doing what you are doing and who you are doing it for. You will realize that you have been living for others, not for yourself. The Stoics taught us to know ourselves and to be true to our nature. They also warned us against the dangers of external validation and social approval. By being too good, you may be seeking to please others and to avoid conflict or rejection. You may be afraid of being yourself, of expressing your opinions, or of saying no. You may be conforming to what others expect from you, rather than following your values and principles. You may be sacrificing your individuality and uniqueness for the sake of harmony and acceptance. But this will come at a high price. You will lose your sense of who you are and what you stand for. You will feel insecure and dependent on others' opinions. You will doubt your abilities and worth. You will have low self-esteem and confidence. You will not respect yourself, nor will others respect you. Number 4, perceived as weak. Stoicism encourages cultivating inner strength and self-control. By setting boundaries, you gain respect and avoid being perceived as weak. Without self-discipline, you may become an easy target for others to unload their responsibilities onto. You will be seen as a pushover, a doormat, or a people-pleaser. You will be taken advantage of, exploited, or abused. You will be unable to stand up for yourself, your rights, or your interests. You will be unable to say no, to negotiate, or to compromise. You will be unable to assert your needs, preferences, or opinions. You will be unable to make your own decisions, to take risks, or to face challenges. You will be unable to grow, learn, or improve. You will be unable to live your own life. The Stoics advised us to choose our friends wisely and to avoid associating with those who corrupt our character and harm our well-being. They also encouraged us to be assertive and to stand up for ourselves when faced with injustice or abuse. By being too good, you may be attracting people who take advantage of your kindness and generosity, people who use you for their benefit and discard you when you are no longer useful. People who lie, cheat, and betray you without remorse. People who manipulate, control, and dominate you without respect. People who hurt, insult, and criticize you without empathy. People who drain your energy, happiness, and peace. People who make you feel guilty, ashamed, and worthless. People who make you suffer. All right, let's continue with the rest of the points. Number 5, attracting takers, not givers. Excessive giving can attract people who only take, draining your energy and leaving you surrounded by those unwilling to reciprocate. You will feel lonely, unappreciated, and resentful. You will lack genuine and supportive relationships. You will miss out on the joy and fulfillment of giving and receiving in a balanced way. The Stoics taught us to value ourselves and to seek quality over quantity in our friendships. They also reminded us that we are social beings who need to contribute to the common good, but also to receive the benefits of cooperation and affection. By being too good, you may be attracting people who take advantage of your kindness and generosity. People who do not care about your well-being, your happiness, or your growth. People who do not share your values, your interests, or your goals. People who do not respect your boundaries, your preferences, or your opinions. People who do not appreciate your efforts, your sacrifices, or your gifts. People who do not support your dreams, your challenges, or your achievements. People who do not enrich your life, but rather diminish it. Number 6, needy associations. Indiscriminate generosity may lead to opportunists seeking to extract everything they can from you, only turning to you when they need something. You will be used as a means to an end, not as an end in itself. You will be treated as a resource, not as a person. You will be valued for what you have, not for who you are. You will be contacted only when they have a problem, not when they have a solution. You will be expected to solve their issues, not to share your joys. You will be burdened with their troubles, not relieved with their gratitude. The Stoics urged us to practice self-reliance and to avoid depending on others for our happiness and satisfaction. They also encouraged us to be selective and careful with whom we associate and to avoid those who harm our character and well-being. By being too good, you may be creating needy associations with people who only turn to you when they need something, people who do not offer you anything in return, but rather demand more and more from you, people who do not respect your time, your energy, or your limits, but rather exploit them to their advantage, people who do not help you grow, but rather hinder your progress, people who do not make you happy, but rather make you miserable.
Number 7, potential for addiction. Stoics promote moderation, and excessive generosity can lead to addictive patterns, as you may seek external validations to fill the void created by overgiving. You may become dependent on the approval, praise, or admiration of others. You may crave the feeling of being needed, wanted, or appreciated. You may seek the sense of fulfillment, meaning, or purpose that comes from helping others. You may avoid the pain, guilt, or fear that comes from saying no, rejecting or disappointing others. You may neglect your own needs, desires, or passions. You may lose your identity, self-esteem, or self-respect. The Stoics advised us to find happiness within ourselves and to avoid being influenced by external things. They also reminded us that we are responsible for our own emotions and reactions, and that we can choose how to respond to any situation. By being too good, you may be developing an addiction to generosity that can harm your mental and physical health. You may be unable to stop giving, even when it hurts you or others. You may be unable to enjoy giving, but rather feel obligated or compelled to do so. You may be unable to appreciate what you have, but rather feel dissatisfied or empty. You may be unable to love yourself, but rather seek love from others. Number 8. Raising suspicions. Genuine kindness may raise suspicions instead of admiration, leading people to wonder about your hidden intentions. You may be seen as dishonest, insincere, or hypocritical. You may be accused of having ulterior motives, hidden agendas, or secret desires. You may be suspected of being manipulative, deceptive, or cunning. You may be distrusted, doubted, or questioned. You may be rejected, avoided, or isolated. The Stoics taught us to be honest, sincere, and authentic. They also warned us against the dangers of hypocrisy, flattery, and deception. By being too good, you may be raising suspicions instead of admiration, leading people to wonder about your hidden intentions. You may be creating misunderstandings, conflicts, or enemies. You may be damaging your reputation, credibility, or trustworthiness. You may be hurting your relationships, your career, or your opportunities. You may be sabotaging your success, your happiness, or your peace. Now let's discuss 4 Stoic strategies to safeguard yourself. Number 1. Listen to your feelings. Pay attention to your emotions. If you feel overwhelmed, drained, angry, or used, it's time to reflect on the impact of your generosity on your well-being. You may be giving too much, too often, or to the wrong people. You may be ignoring your own needs, feelings, or interests. You may be compromising your health, happiness, or integrity. The Stoics taught us to be aware of our emotions and to use them as guides to improve our lives. They also encouraged us to practice self-care and to balance our duties to others with our duties to ourselves. By listening to your feelings, you can identify the signs of excessive generosity and take action to correct them. You can adjust your giving to match your resources, your values, and your goals. You can respect your limits, your preferences, and your opinions. You can protect your health, happiness, and integrity. Number 2. Embrace the power of no. Overcoming the fear of saying no is crucial. Recognize that your time and energy are valuable, and saying no is a way to exercise self-control. You have the right to say no to anything that does not align with your priorities, your principles, or your well-being. You have the right to say no to anyone who does not respect your boundaries, your choices, or your dignity. You have the right to say no without feeling guilty, ashamed, or selfish. The Stoics urged us to practice self-control and to avoid being swayed by external things. They also encouraged us to be assertive and to stand up for ourselves when faced with injustice or abuse. By embracing the power of no, you can free yourself from the pressure of pleasing others and focus on what matters to you. You can reclaim your time, your energy, and your freedom. You can express your needs, your desires, and your opinions. You can assert your rights, your interests, and your values. Number 3. Allocate time and space for yourself. Set aside dedicated time and space for self-care. Prioritize yourself before extending your help to others. You cannot give what you do not have, and you cannot help others if you are not well yourself. You need to replenish your energy, nourish your soul, and nurture your passions. You need to do things that make you happy, fulfilled, and alive. You need to be with people who love you, support you, and inspire you. The Stoics advised us to find happiness within ourselves and to avoid being influenced by external things. They also encouraged us to cultivate our inner wisdom, virtue, and peace. By allocating time and space for yourself, you can take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. You can enjoy your hobbies, your talents, and your gifts. You can connect with your friends, your family, and your community. Number 4, identify energy drainers. Recognize relationships that drain your energy and distance yourself from those who do not contribute positively. Exercise Stoic discernment to focus on mutually beneficial connections. You deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate you, respect you, and value you. People who care about your well-being, your happiness, and your growth. People who share your values, your interests, and your goals. People who respect your boundaries, your preferences, and your opinions. People who appreciate your efforts, your sacrifices, and your gifts. People who support your dreams, your challenges, and your achievements. People who enrich your life, not diminish it. The Stoics taught us to value ourselves and to seek quality over quantity in our friendships. They also reminded us that we are social beings who need to contribute to the common good, but also to receive the benefits of cooperation and affection. By identifying energy drainers, you can eliminate toxic and manipulative people from your life and focus on positive and supportive ones. You can enhance your relationships, your career, and your opportunities. You can increase your joy, your gratitude, and your peace. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that balance is key in all aspects of life, including generosity. Strive to find the middle ground between prioritizing others and yourself, and don't hesitate to use the powerful word no when necessary. Remember that you are not responsible for the happiness of others but for your own. Remember that you are not here to serve others but to serve yourself. Remember that you are not a means to an end, but an end in itself. Remember that you are not a giver but a receiver. Remember that you are not a resource but a person. Remember that you are not a good person but a great person.
Yeah.